Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh my. All right, so is this the guy, Surreal?
He calls himself GMS Long Island. He's a
GMS.
Israelite. Yeah.
So he's a member of the GMS Hebrew Israelite group.
Oh Jesus.
He says he is.
All right. So I'm assuming the question you had for me was in regards to 2 birthdays of Jesus.
Yeah, you talking to me?
See.
Yeah, shalom. Yeah.
Shalom.
Yeah, I actually sent Sorilla.
Bad connection.
Yeah, you sent him a what? Stock, are you there?
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I sent Sorilla a free copy of my book.
All right.
And yeah, it was called. Hold on, I'm about to restart my computer. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Bad
All right.
connection.
All right, so we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, so while he's waiting, let's see if there's any questions in the live chat. What the? Again, we got people saying, trying to do the whole thing with trying to ship me and sister and such. And she's saying, I'm 32. He's too young for me. She's right. She's 32. I'm 23. That's like a reverse number system right there, people.
So what?
So what?
Are you 2 consenting adults? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but and she said that I'm not her type either.
Sure, you're not.
Don't worry, dude. Age is just a number.
Okay, moving on.
You're 2 consenting adults. It's all right.
Yeah.
I'm adding that to your wiki. I swear.
You better not add anything to that wiki.
I am adding everything to your wiki.
People have a wiki.
The Great Debate Community wiki, yes.
It's a Great Debate Community wiki.
Yes.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm still not a part of, probably because I don't do anything.
And sister says she wishes she could kill you right now, Pin.
She wishes.
Yeah.
She has to find me first.
Just type in your address to sister. And sent. You will now be hunted down by the world's greatest assassin, the hipster of sister.
Wishes.
The hipster sister.
I've been training for this day for 4 years playing Minecraft. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Everyone, stop shipping it! Or I'll ship you with unexpected things.
I'm pretty sure I started this. Anyway,
that's it. Fine. You know what? Just so y'all can shut it. I am shipping sister with Todd Habercool.
My question is, why does
all of your SSOREAL@gmail.com on December 25th?
Wait,
I'm taking donations.
My question is, why does Nissan want to kill Mr. Ping?
Why is Nissan?
Nissan. You said sister, right?
Yeah, sister hipster.
So what does Nissan? What does Nissan hipster want to kill Mr. Ping?
That is just way too much stretching it, and because Pin keeps shipping me and her.
Stock trader has returned.
Oh, don't worry, dude. Don't worry, don't worry, dude. Age is just a number.
Age is just a number.
And prison is just a cell.
Hang on. All right, so Stock, are you there?
Ditch.
You have to unmute yourself, son.
Bad connections.
No, I don't know. We'll see if he unmutes himself. We'll see where that goes. I don't know. Maybe a mic issue or something.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
For the moment.
You good.
All right.
All right. So you said you wanted to talk about the 2 birthdays of Jesus.
As opposed to 0.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I sent Sorrel a free copy of my book. It's
There he goes again.
Okay, free copy of a book.
Of his book, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have a copy on my email of a book written. But Surreal does, apparently, I guess.
Surreal, you want to share that around?
I read part of it, and it's I'm trying to find it right now. Oh man, you know, I've sent him some responses on the internet that actually, you know, in my opinion, refutes his book, but you know, he seems not to care. So I was like, man, you know what? Let me bring him on here, and instead of me just talking to him all the time. I actually have some interesting questions to ask him after he, you know, thoroughly breaks this down, because reading something is one thing, but then hearing it from someone is another. So
just by the first thing he said was that he sent you a free copy of his book. That already gives me the impression that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't know. Stock, are you there?
Hello.
All right. Well, we're just gonna move on. Anyone else
Can't
in the
afford better internet if you give your books away for free, man.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Mark, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you go.
Yes.
For now.
Yeah, I sent Sorrel a free copy of my book, and he should. If you could just send your buddy a copy.
All right, but do you have a question for us, sir?
No, I was planning on doing an open discussion on the topic.
Well, right now we're in Ask Christian Anarchist number 50. So, do you have a question that you would like to suggest about the topic, about whether or not if Jesus had 2 birthdays or not, or?
Well, I mean, I can send you a copy of it to your email, and we can review it. You can review it's an 8-page book.
Hold on.
You can do that. You can do that in your spare time, but right now we only have like 40 minutes left of the show. And if you got a question, then we're gonna work with that. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go to somebody else, because we got other people that are gonna be wanting to ask some questions.
Hold on, I want to ask Stock real quick. Stock, are you familiar with the information in your book?
What kind of question is that? Obviously, I am.
Okay, then why should we have to read it first? Are you not able to explain it?
Right. I mean, that's why people write books in the first place, right?
Well, are you able to verbally explain it when asked?
Of course, yeah. I'd have to go through the Bible, though.
Okay, that's not what I asked. Are you able to verbally explain what your book says?
Well, maybe Sorrel can explain it, because he read it, so maybe he can explain it to you guys.
Well,
exactly what I was.
That's not what I'm asking, Stock. If you understand the subject matter in your book, you should be able to verbally explain it without problem or hesitation. If you can't do that, then you don't understand your own content.
Yeah, but so I thought we'd be doing this on Cherry's channel.
Cherry says she's at work.
Oh, she's at work? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're in here. We haven't read your material, and obviously you have an opportunity to tell us what it is you're talking about or asking.
Well, all right, here we go. Well, the question is, did Jesus have 2 birthdays?
Okay. And I don't.
In the book of Matthew. Yeah. Well, in the book of Matthew, right? And King Herod is an Edomite. Now, Esau was in Genesis 25 and 27. Esau sold his birthright to his little brother Jacob.
Okay.
Isaac blessed him with the birthright that Esau was supposed to get, right?
Okay.
So, in 4th century AD, this guy, sorry, my audio keeps going in and out. This guy Herod is ruling. He's an Edomite. He's ruling BCE, right? And according to the narrative, Jesus was an Israelite. That's Romans the 1st chapter, Revelations 22:16, Hebrews 7:14. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Herod is ruling. This is 4 BCE.
Okay.
Now in Luke, Jesus is not born during the time of Herod. He's born during the time of Archelaus, which was Herod's son. This was in 6 AD. Now Herod died in 4 BC, and his son Archelaus took over. And Jesus was born in Luke, the 3rd chapter. He's born during the time of Archelaus in 6 AD. So in Matthew, he's born in 4 BCE. In Matthew, he's born in 4 BCE. And in Luke, he's born in 6 AD. You see what I'm saying? He was born during the first census, which was the first census was done by Cyrenius in 6 AD after Archelaus got usurped in 6 AD. So he's got 2 birthdays: 4 BCE, and 6 AD.
So you're going to rationalize that as having somehow as 2 birthdays instead of a logical inconsistency within the book?
Right. Well,
here's what here.
Hold
on. Pen. Hold on. While you ask him that, because obviously you're the atheist, going to have your reasons for skepticism on that. What are the verses that you said?
Well, I mean, according to the book of Urantia, it says that there were 2 censuses. There was one in 7 BCE, and then there was one in 6 AD. But there's no Roman sources for the first and second census. The only census that the Romans recorded was in 6 AD, and according to the scholars, the 7 BC census is made up. It's made up.
All right. So can you just tell me what the verses are that tell us when he was born?
And Matthew, it says, when the 3 wise men came to visit him.
Matthew what?
I believe it's chapter 1. It says when Herod had planned to kill all the babies under 2 or 3 years old. That was 4 BCE. So Jesus had to have been born before 4 BC, around 7 or 6 8 BCE.
Matthew, what chapter, what verse?
I believe it's Matthew 1. Let me make sure. Go to Matthew chapter 1 and scroll down. Hold on, let me get it. I'll get it. Hold on.
If you can tell us just what the verse is in Matthew 1.
I'm looking for it.
Oh, this turned out interesting.
There it is. Let's see here. Long chapter either.
Hold on, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm getting it right now. Oh, sorry. Let's start off with this.
Okay, so see it, genealogy. I don't say where it talks about the day in which it was a date.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm looking at chapter 2. It's like the first half of the chapter is all the begats, and the rest of it is apparently Joseph not feeling happy about this. Mm-hmm. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
It's loading right now. It's loading. Hold on. Sorry. My office word is loading. I'm going to get it right now.
Okay. Verse 1. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod,
right, yeah.
Behold, there came.
Herod, right. There you go. Yeah.
You couldn't remember something as simple as chapter 2, verse 1?
Yeah, I mean, it's chapter 2. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'm getting it right now.
So, chapter 2, verse 1 says he was born in this particular period. And then what's the next verse you said? You said there was a second birthday. Okay.
Luke.
All right, Luke what?
Luke what?
Hold on. Hold on. My computer's slow.
Okay.
Should be Luke chapter 3.
Luke 3, what?
Well, I'm going to look through the chapter because he was wrong about the first date. Let's see if he can't figure out this one. The first verse, not the first date.
Well, this is already way past his birth. This because it says the preaching of and baptism of John.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in chapter 3 about a birth. In fact, it says, verse 23, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age. I mean, dude, you wrote a book and you're already sounding like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm actually pulling up my book link right now. Hold on. For some reason, my computer's going slow for some reason. You know.
Wait,
yeah, hold on.
Wait, you wrote a book?
Yeah, he wrote a book.
Apparently, he wrote a book about this subject, and so far, his notes on it are completely inaccurate, which means he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Got it. I got my link came up. All right.
What is it?
Christian, I'm going to leave in about 20 minutes.
Yes, Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2.
All right, Luke 2. All right. What verse?
And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Verse 2, and this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor over Syria. And we look at the history. Cyrenius was governor in 6 AD. And Joseph went up from Galilee out of the city to Nazareth and to Judea to the city of David to be taxed with Mary, his wife, his spouse, being great with child. And so it was that they were there. The days were accomplished that she should be delivered, and she brought forth her firstborn son. Right. So she brought forth her firstborn son during the time of the taxation of Cyrenius, which was in 6 AD. But in Matthew, she gives birth during the time of Herod, which is in 4 BCE. So this is 12. So he has two birthdays. One in 6 AD, one in 4 BCE.
Okay, so my initial question stands. You seem to interpret this as Jesus, for whatever reason and however, has 2 different birthdays instead of a logical inconsistency within the book.
I'm trying to figure out.
Well, according to the scholars, because if you read the book of Urantia, which is a New Age Christian book, there's a few other sources that pull from the same source saying that there was a census in 7 BCE, and then there was a census in 6 AD, and in the book, the works of Josephus, it's quoting the second census, but there's no historical record of the 7 AD census, 7 BCE census, only the 6 AD. Okay, there's no Roman records. There's no Roman records for the 7 BCE census.
That's not what I asked.
There's no Roman records.
That's not what I asked. Even if that's true, okay, I don't know. I'm not looking at the information at the moment, but even if that's true, you are interpreting this as Jesus having 2 birthdays, however that's even supposed to happen, instead of there being a logical inconsistency within the book.
Well, are you an atheist or do you believe in the Bible?
He's an atheist.
I want to know how you come to the conclusion.
You're an atheist, so you're an atheist. So obviously.
I'm the Christian. I'm a Christian in the room.
I'm asking you how you come to the conclusion that Jesus had 2 birthdays.
Well, send me your email. I'll send you a copy of the book, and you can review it. I'll send you a free copy. You can review it yourself.
If you know the information and you understand the information, then you should be able to give me the information.
Oh, you guys are talking over each other. I can't hear you.
If you are familiar with the information and you understand the information, then you should be able to effectively communicate it. If you are unable to do that, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. Well, yeah, like I said, he has 2 birthdays. One in 4 BCE, one in 6 AD. That's 12-year difference. He has 2 birthdays.
How do you come to that conclusion, though?
Research. In fact, I'll post the link in the chat.
That didn't tell me anything. How did you come to the conclusion?
Study.
Okay, you can say study and research all you want. That doesn't tell anybody anything.
I studied with a brother named Edomite Slayer. You probably know him as Ezekiel on YouTube. Edomite Slayer.
None of us know who you're talking about.
I don't care who you studied with. I'm asking you how you came to the conclusion. Just tell me how you came to the conclusion. That shouldn't be hard.
It's called exegesis.
Okay, let me ask it because I think this would make it easier for you. What were the exact arguments or data that you found during your study and research that led you to the conclusions? How about that?
Just analyzing the text.
Okay, no, that's what I'm asking. What did you critically analyze? What did you find during your critical analyzation in the text that get you to the conclusions? That's what we're asking.
Spiritual conviction and a lot of research.
No, that's not what we're asking you, dumb.
Oh my goodness! What in the world? We're asking you something and you're dodging the question.
Okay, again, if you know the information and you are and you understand it, you should effectively be able to communicate it. If you can't do that, then you are a piece of shit who don't understand what they're talking about. How hard is that? Do you know what you're talking about?
I just told you had 2 birthdays. One is 6 AD, and then you had one.
How did you come to that conclusion? How hard is that?
By reading the book.
Okay, that's not the question. What did you read?
The scripture said to seek in the book and read. Seek ye and read.
What did you read?
I read the book of Matthew and I read the book of Luke.
Okay, and how did you analyze them?
No, somebody showed it to me. Somebody showed it to me.
Okay, so somebody showed it to you and you automatically believe it.
No, I looked at it and I did research.
Okay, then that's what I was asking you. What research did you do?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I started up with a Google search, like most people probably start out.
That's not what I asked you. What did you research? What did you look at?
Well, I'll post the link in the chat that I looked at. I'll post it in the chat.
We're asking a simple question. No,
it's not hard. This isn't hard. Just tell us what you read.
What was your source? What is your citation?
Jesus, Christian, you realize that Gary gives us more information than this.
Yeah, and that's a shocker.
That's a real big shocker.
Yeah.
Anybody who don't know, I refer to G-Man as Gary because I don't respect him, and I'm not going to call him by the name that he wishes us to call him.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing, because he says this, but it's not like this is a consensus among scholarship. In fact,
it's not.
In fact, I'm looking actually at, because he says the thing about for example, the dating of the date. Yeah, the census. That it happens There's
the link. There's the link right there in the chat room. I posted the link to the research.
Yeah, hold on.
Go to that page and read.
Hang on.
You gave us a book, dude. You're gonna have to memorize this.
Yeah. So go. So the sixth.
No, I just posted a link in the chat room.
Hang on. You didn't post a link. You posted a citation and you posted a fucking book's worth. Tell us what it says.
I just posted something in the chat. If you can see.
Yes,
okay.
I know.
Okay. All right. Hold on, because this is getting ridiculous. All right. So here's what I just want to postulate: is that he's saying it happened in 6 BCE, and that the narrative that was written of Herod was in 4 BCE. However,
yeah, he died in 4 BC. Yeah, so he was born around 6 or 7 BC.
And in Dr. Raymond Brown's book, An Adult Christ at Christmas, Essays on the 3 Biblical Christmas Stories, he basically says the following on page 17 of his book, which is, quote, there are formidable historical difficulties about every facet of Luke's description and dating of the Quirinius census, and most critical scholars acknowledge a confusion and misdating on Luke's part.
Hold on, I'll be right back. All
right. And they puts a footnote saying that minor difficulties are that there was no single census of the whole Roman Empire under Augustus, and that there is no evidence that Roman censuses required one to go to one's place of ancestry unless one had property there. More serious is Luke's connection between the reign of Herod the Great. Hang on, I'm not done. I'm not done yet. And the census under Quirinius. Herod died in 4 BC. Quirinius became governor in Syria and conducted the first Roman census of Judea in AD 627. There's not even a consensus on the date of what if it was 6 or 7 apparently. And notice it was a census of Judea, not of Galilee, as Luke assumes. In Acts 5:37, Luke mistakenly mentions the revolt of Judas the Galilean, provoked by the census of Quirinius after the revolt of Theudas, which occurred in AD 44 through 46. And he references his commentary to the birth of Messiah in the birth of Messiah.
But there's redaction in the text. There's redaction in the book of Luke.
Hold on, Stock. Can you see what Christian's doing here?
Right. Well, see, here's the problem.
No, do you see what Christian's doing here? You know what he's doing that you are refusing to do?
Well, here's the problem. They say that people think that Joseph didn't have any property in Galilee.
Follow me along here.
Hold on.
Do you see what Christian's doing that you're refusing to do? He's giving you information, and you haven't given us a damn thing yet.
I just posted the information in the chat room, in the group chat room.
I told you that none of us are going to take 30 minutes of our lives to read a fucking book. You're going to have to summarize it. And if you can't do that, you don't know what it says.
It's not a book. It's a link. It's not a book. This is not my book I posted.
Okay,
I posted
this is not a book. This is a citation. Okay? You got to know the difference if you're going to argue these things. B, if you don't know what it says, then if you know what it says, then you should be able to say what it says. And none of us are going to take the time.
Well, and rebuttal to what he just said. What people don't know is that Joseph had 2 wives. He went up to Bethlehem to get taxed because he had a wife. Mary wasn't his only wife. He had 2 wives. That's what people don't know.
So what? What does that have to do with two birthdays for Jesus?
Because you have to throw out the book of Luke and call it forwards. You have to,
Yeah, and I just read to you that it's possible that this could have either been a mistake on Luke's part in regards to the fact that he did gather his information from multiple sources, and this could have been something that someone must have misspoke during this particular thing.
The Bible's not infallible. The Bible's not infallible.
Will you let me finish?
Yeah,
or that is a scribal error that has not been found to be corrected yet based upon the manuscript collections that we have. Old Testament has the same kind of thing in regards to a specific amount of horse carriers or something that I think it was either Saul or David had. So there are certainly scribal mistakes that have been copied into, but these scribal mistakes or errors really do not have any effective change upon doctrines, and yet you're wanting to see these things instead of trying to focus on what is known as harmonization, which has gone into every single time of when we're looking at different witnesses and testimonies of certain accounts. We harmonize certain things to try to figure out what is the most accurate facts of life, which could have been misspokings or certain things that weren't exactly accurate. And again, this doesn't remove the infallibility of the scriptures. This is just trying to focus on the context and the culture in which the text is written, and realizing that they are written still through human authors inspired by God. Inspiration of the word does not mean that God directly authored them. He used human authors using their language and such, and using sometimes even their limitations. That's why we have the amount of manuscripts with those kinds of different textual variants, sir. So
really, well, let's go to Jeremiah. Read Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2.
Hold on.
Jeremiah 30. What does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Hold on, Stock. I am more.
Because that's exactly what we have to do. What we talked about.
Stock.
The Bible is redaction in the text.
Stock. I am more inclined to agree with and even believe Christian Anarchist because he's giving us information and telling us where he got this information, and you're not doing any of that. Do you have a counter argument?
Yes, my counter argument is he said, there was no reason for Joseph to go up to what it was, Galilee, to get taxed. A lot of people don't know is that he had 2 wives. He had a house in the area, so he went to go tax his second house there. That's what a lot of people don't know. They don't know that history.
So what?
So that cut, what he just explained comes from a lack.
Okay, I don't give 2 shits if Joseph went one place or another. I'm more worried about the fact that you think Jesus had 2 birthdays and you're not giving any information for that. Christian.
No, he just said there's redaction in the text. That the text the book of Luke is not infallible.
So you say, But Christian is giving us information that shows that it is fallible, and that you're not giving us anything that says it's not infallible.
Oh, so it's fallible? A Christian is calling his own book fallible?
Yeah, there's the thing. I never said it was fallible.
Well, if there's a mistake in the
most Christians claim that their book is infallible. Most Christians will claim.
Right.
Okay, you can jump on him for that all you want. I don't give a shit. That's if you want to avoid the argument that you want to make, fine. You can do that.
Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2, because you just talked about describe, who inspired God, inspired the prophets to write the book. Read Jeremiah 30 and 2. It's going to give some light to this.
Okay.
I'm not worried about that. I want to know why you believe in
I'll go to it. So
take your time. I know it's hard.
Yeah, Stock, you gonna respond to that?
Yeah, read Jeremiah 30 and 2.
No,
okay, again,
I'll read it, but you're gonna have to respond to Pin, because at the same time, I'm curious to see how you respond to his objection. Because so far,
okay, no, I mean, I just
hold on. Your case would not stand against a Christian or an atheist, it seems.
Well, yeah, like I said, there's no Roman records of the first census and 7. Hold on. My mic keeps going on. Yeah, there's no record of the 7 BCE census. There's only one census in the Roman records, which is 6 AD. So you'd have to throw out the book of Luke and fallible and label it tampered with,
So your conclusion is to claim that Jesus had 2 birthdays instead of finding a logical error in the text,
or a harmonization within the text, trying to figure out about textual variance within the gospel.
Well, the question is, this guy even exist? Did he have a father? Did he have a physical father? Because according to Luke 133, he descended from David and Solomon. That to sit on the throne, the Israelite throne, you have to be a descendant of David and Solomon. So if he doesn't have a father, he can't sit on the throne.
We're happy for you. That doesn't answer the question, dude.
Yeah, and that's why the mother is Mary.
No. See that comes if you look at first century church father. You see this. You know that the Luke 3's genealogy. It's also Joseph's genealogy.
It's not just the Luke genealogy; it's also the rest of the Gospels genealogy.
Yeah, well, Matthew and Luke's genealogy. Luke's genealogy is not. That's a Christian fallacy.
I don't understand what you're talking about. I mean,
most people think that Luke the 3rd chapter.
That's a what? That's a what?
Most people think that Luke the 3rd chapter is Mary's genealogy, when really it's Joseph's genealogy. He had 2 fathers according to the law of Deuteronomy 25.
Okay, so it says Mary on the genealogy, or does it say Luke's genealogy?
It's not Joseph's genealogy.
Yes, it is. If you read the first Eusebius,
no, it's not.
Eusebius,
I don't care what Eusebius has to say on it.
In Matthew? Is this Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew and Luke. Matthew and Luke is both his genealogy.
No, they're not. No, they're not. You got because you got inconsistencies here. There are clear differences between the 2 genealogies.
Yes, because he had 2 dads. Eli and Jacob.
He did not have 2 biological dads.
No, see, you're not researching. He had 2 dads according to the law of Deuteronomy.
Says the guy who won't even give us his research.
When a man doesn't raise up seed,
you got one biological father, and then you have what's called the father-in-law. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, Jacob and Eli. Now, one of his real father died childless, so his brother raised up seed to him. So both of them were considered his fathers, but they had different genealogies because they were half brothers. That's why you see 2 different genealogies in Matthew and Luke.
No, I disagree with that.
Well, I can prove it. I'll post the video in the chat. We can watch it right now.
No, we're not watching a video. You're gonna go into the arguments. If you're not gonna do that, then you're wasting our time here.
Like I said, Matthew is the lineage. Yeah,
I've already told you that if you can't explain the information that you have, then you don't know what you're talking about.
I think the reason why the significance of Joseph's presence in Luke's genealogy is according to the Israelite tradition, because it's customary for the genealogies to follow the man, even if they weren't naturally related. I mean, I believe Luke was just trying to keep true to the Israelite custom. If you notice, notice how Matthew.
This is Brother Velke.
Wait, hold up.
Notice how Matthew is the only one that makes mention of the names of women, including, Ruth and Rahab and so on and so forth. The Luke's genealogy only mentions the men. So I mean, right. So who else would Luke say that Jesus was the son of? You know, I mean, I agree with you.
Jacob and Eli were brothers, but one died.
But I don't know if that. I don't believe that it's Luke's. It's Joseph's genealogy, though.
Well, according to the first century scholars, it's Luke's genealogy, according to them.
Okay, and just because a scholar says something doesn't mean that it's true, because scholars can say anything. There's a Muslim scholar that says Muhammad never existed.
Great Millstone, Long Island. Go to my page, Great Millstone, Long Island, when you get a chance.
Hey, no. Listen.
Do some research.
Yeah, I can do research. The issue is bringing about arguments. Me and Veckel have been bringing out arguments to show that the infallible text of the Word of God can have these differences among things on whatever you're bringing up, and explain the genealogies and such, where you just simply say, well, scholars have said this or scholars said that. You're arguing like Shabir Ali. Sir.
Read Jeremiah 32.
I've already read it. It simply says that God has ordered these people to write. Again, that is when he's speaking to a specific person. That does not prove your point or what we are talking about.
Let me ask you, did Jesus have a father? Because you have to send it of David and Solomon.
Yeah, Jesus had a father, God.
Hold on, guys. I think we're getting away from the initial point here. I still want to know why he thinks that Jesus had 2 birthdays.
Yeah, that's what the main topic was. Stay on it.
Okay, yeah. Why did Jesus have 2 birthdays?
He said Matthew 3:1 and then Luke chapter 2.
Wait, talking about Jesus being? Does he believe Jesus was born again?
Like born again, as if literally, I guess, born again, because he says
like born again, like the same way humans are. Or
no, he says like in Matthew, it says that in those what was it Matthew or so? Matthew 2. Yeah, Matthew 2 or something, that it was born in the days of Herod the king, and then the other one in Luke, it talks about
Archelaus. He's one to time about Archelaus, which was the son of.
Oh, he's pointing out an alleged contradiction. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, yes.
And the date of the birth.
So in Luke, he's born in the time of Archelaus when he got usurped. It was in 6 AD. But in Matthew, he's born in 4 BCE or 4 to 7 BCE.
Oh, by the census. You're going by the census mentioned in Luke 2?
Yeah, right. You know, the census of Cyrenius.
There you go. That's the problem. No, it's obviously not 2 birthdays, and there's actually misunderstanding with the census that's mentioned in Luke chapter 2.
Well, they claim that there's 2 censuses, but the historians say that it's ahistorical, that it's not historical.
Yeah, you're not telling us what their data is that comes to that. So let Veckel finish his point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have it with me right now, but there's some really, really good explanations for the issue with Quirinius, I think his name is.
Cyrenius. He had 2 names, though.
Right. And, oh, man, I wish I could remember exactly what it is. But if I remember correctly, it's something along the lines of... you know what? Let me get back to you on that one because I'm trying to remember exactly how to word it.
But they're trying to say there were 2 sentences, but there's no historical proof. There's no facsimile. There's no historical evidence of it, and the scholars dismiss it as fable.
Okay, based on what data?
No, I don't.
I just posted a link in the chat, historian.net.
Quote the data. Quote what you just gave us the link to. Quote the word in which you are looking at the page.
My computer's moving slow, so I don't want to click the link and get clicked out. So if you guys can click the link,
you're not going to get clicked out. You click it, it opens up to a page. You're still in this hangout.
Yeah. That's my computer's moving slow. So if you just click the link and read the first verse,
Let me just say this: you ask us to click that link, then you're automatically closed. We're moving on because we're not going to. You are in here. You have the information. It is in your head. You're the one proposing the thing. So
you have the trivial description and the WCIW in Ramsey.
Defend your argument with your own words, or you're wasting our time. and everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, the only proof that the Christians have, the only source the Christians have is the Tribulate inscription and W.M. Ramsey's work. Just being considered heresy.
Okay, can you cite the material? Meaning, can you give a quote like I quoted you, Raymond Brown?
This is a quote from the same source I just posted.
Can you quote me? Answer my question. Can you quote me like I quoted? Can you quote these sources just like I quoted Raymond Brown? Yes or no?
Okay, here we go. It's too much to read at once. But
Christian,
there was a W. Ramsey.
Christian, real quick, yeah. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go get my show started. Everyone who's interested at MX Pin Valentine, I'm going to talk about this conversation on my show. Dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You can't quote your own sources. You might as well just move on. That's my final say.
Before we go, the question is, did Jesus have a biological father? Because you have to see
Probably not. You're done. You're done. No, I'm out later.
He did not have a biological father.
Go do some research, and when you finally know your information, come back to us, and we'll actually have a conversation.
Right. For you? Jesus did not have a biological father according to the scriptures.
Okay, let's go to Romans chapter 1, verse 3.
I'm out, y'all. Come watch my show when Christian's over, on at 8 o'clock.
Go ahead. Go do so. All right. All right, so Romans.
Okay, read Romans 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Romans 1 and 3. Okay.
Then we go to Revelations 22 and 16.
Okay. Yeah, Romans 1:3 says, concerning his son Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. Okay, what's wrong with that?
The seed of David according to the flesh.
Yeah. Right. So you're looking at the word seed or sperma as it's used in the Greek. Is that the problem? Is that the issue?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The word there is sperma, which means he had a physical father.
Look what it says. Wait. Look what it says though. It says according to the seed of who? David. Does it say Joseph? David.
Yeah, yes, because Joseph was a descendant of David. If you read Matthew's, he was the direct descendant of David.
It's asserted that so was Mary.
No, she was from the tribe of Levi, I believe.
You believe, but you don't know.
You believe, but you don't.
They don't know. She was from the tribe of Levi. She wasn't a
Israelite. Just to quote you, sir, there are scholars who say that most certainly 100% she is.
Yeah. In fact, there's other scholars that'll say that that's her genealogy that's in Luke.
Yeah.
No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
According to who?
Wait. But you see, wait, sir. Wait, sir. Hold on. You do recognize though that in Luke, okay, you got names of you got different names of different people here.
I already explained it. I told you Jacob and Eli were half brothers. That's why they have different genealogies.
Where'd you get that idea from? Where'd you get that idea from? Jacob and Eli being half brothers. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, they had half brothers. That's why they got different genealogies mentioned.
Wait, no.
You're not doing research.
No. Can you please explain to us where'd you get that idea that Jacob and Eli? Because I know you talking about Jacob. You're talking about Jacob from Matthew's genealogy and Eli mentioned in Luke's genealogy. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did you get the idea from that they were half brothers? Where's that come from? Huh? Hello?
You cut out there, Stock.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it right.
We're all over the place. We first got to finish talking about the seed issue as mentioned in Romans 1. But now you're saying that Jacob and Eli were half brothers? I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna prove it. Hold on 1 second. Now go to
here we go. Another verse. Hello?
Yes.
No, trying to get Stock.
Revelations.
Huh?
Are you going to jump to another verse now?
I think he said Hesitations chapter 5 verse.
Hold on. Say again, Stock. You there?
Jacob and Eli are half brothers. No, wait.
I'm here.
All right. What was the verse?
Verse Contradictions chapter 4 verse 19.
Well, let me respond to the Romans 3 thing. Because again, I brought this up in a debate that I had about it. It's a simple problem that what I call the anti-birthers have when using this line of fallacious reasoning, and they look at the word sperma being used here in this verse, and they think, aha, sperm. See, you see the sperm. No, that doesn't mean that Jesus was the biological son of Joseph. It just simply means that he was a biological descendant of David, as you and I are biological descendants of Eve, or Adam and Eve, right? That doesn't mean that we're directly related. That doesn't mean Adam is our direct father. If we're going to assume,
I just posted in the chat. I just posted the link.
Okay,
you should see it right there in the chat.
Which argument we're looking at? We're looking at Romans 1:3, or talking about the biological Jacob?
Yeah, Matthew and Luke.
Okay, but you don't just post the links, because people are listening and they're not gonna have time to go to
in this chat.
Can you point to us? All right, let's talk. Which top subject you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the seed issue, or you want to talk about Jacob and Eli being brothers?
Jacob and Eli discussion. Let's get quick. You guys can play the video in the chat room, right?
No, we're not doing that, because one, we're actually out of time and we're extending it just to get this conversation over. Also,
if we can just watch the first 5 minutes
hang
of the video.
No. I'm talking. Let me finish. Okay, I'm letting you talk, and whenever you're having your turn, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I ask likewise. You show me the same respect. You mentioned Eusebius. The times that he is not exactly reliable when it comes to quoting and bringing about certain informations, because one, he's from the 4th century, so he's definitely past the time, and he's obviously speculating his own theories, and early church is starting to go through some form of different theories and corruptions at this time. For another reason, Eusebius cites Josephus's work, but inserts interpolations that Josephus never originally written down. And so when you see a Jew that rejects Christianity saying that Jesus was the Christ and all of these kinds of things, no regular Jew that rejected Christianity, which that is what Josephus was, would say that. And Eusebius made a historical error, and we have earlier manuscripts from Josephus's work that show that it lacked these certain passages. So Eusebius, as a historian, had made mistakes. So he is, in other words, some of the times he's not reliable. And whenever we see things like this that contradict earlier sources, like earlier church fathers before him, as well as just the text of the Bible, which is more authoritative than Eusebius, as well as the early manuscripts that would even predate Eusebius, they are of more authority than Eusebius himself. So you're simply appealing to an authority of one that has made errors in historical mistakes to they make some kind of point.
Well, according to the works, Josephus and Eusebius are pulling from in Bible Gateway and the Minor Bible, all pulling from the Leningrad Codex and the Masoretic text, while Josephus and Eusebius are pulling from the Greek Septuagint and sources that are older than the Masoretic and Leningrad Codex.
Doesn't matter. Josephus said something in his Antiquities of the Jews, and he's making a historical footnote about Jesus being crucified and was ordered to be crucified by Pontius Pilate, and that there was a group called Christians that were named after him. And that is really all we see, other than in Eusebius's copy. It is we see interpolations in which Eusebius says, you know what, we're going to insert these different words, like Josephus will say that Jesus was the Christ, or that Josephus talks about the resurrection as if he believes in what the resurrection is and what it means. So there's
that.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What was that, Stock?
You have two grand views. One view is that when you die, you go to heaven or hell. The other view is that
no. Can you
sleep in the grave?
Are you going to respond to the fact that Eusebius made a error in that he made interpolations into the text of what Josephus?
No, I can prove that.
So you can
Matthew being genealogy is accurate. I can.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
About that.
That's not what I'm asking you. Can you stay on topic? I'm asking you.
It's all over the place.
Can you tell me where did Josephus, in the early copies of his manuscript, can a Jew who doesn't believe in Christianity say that Jesus was the Christ and that he believes in the resurrection of Jesus?
Well, I mean, from my understanding, that was inserted in the text. The whole Jesus thing was inserted into.
Okay, so that was inserted by, as scholars note, Eusebius. Eusebius inserted these things about Josephus saying that Jesus was the Christ and that he was resurrected. So these things are interpolations by Eusebius, meaning that Eusebius is, as a historian, trying to record down and cite down a work of antiquity from the 1st century or early 2nd century, and he doesn't even get it right.
Also, I'd like to mention something too. There's quite a few sources out there that answer to these to the objection about the census of Quirinius and stuff like that. And I wrote one of the responses down. One of the questions is, Quirinius was not governor until 6 AD, but Jesus was born under Herod the Great around 4 BC. This could not be the census conducted from 6 AD to 7 AD.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah. And the answer to that,
okay,
a scholar would answer, that the census.
Can you hear me, guys? I'm sorry.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep. And this scholar suggested that census that's spoken of in Luke chapter 2 was not completed until Quirinius. So it actually had a long ongoing. It had a beginning, and then it wasn't actually completed until Quirinius. And they say this is the reason why Quirinius's name is associated with the census. So the census that's mentioned in Luke, it wasn't a one-time thing, a one-day thing that was going on. It was actually a part of an ongoing thing that was, and then it just happened to be what Luke is talking about is Luke's story is happening during that period of that census that was going on. This is what the one scholar would assert. And it makes sense because other scholars are saying.
Let me ask you, and Matthew, they fled to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
In the book of Luke, they're showing baby Jesus off in Bethlehem, in Judea, in Jerusalem. They're showing them off, but in Matthew, they fled to Egypt.
Yeah, they fled
because Herod was trying to kill the baby. So which one is it? Did they flee to Egypt? Did they flee to Egypt, or were they in Jerusalem? Because Mary had to do the.
Wait. Are you asking where he was born or where did they fled to? Because those are two different things. He was born in Bethlehem, as the prophecy in Micah, I think Micah 2 says, and we see it manifested in Matthew.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So because Herod wanted to kill the baby Jesus, he wanted to kill all the babies, all the Hebrew babies.
Right, that's why they went to Egypt, right? And that also for after the edict was done, they left Egypt, therefore fulfilling the prophecy.
Right, but he never went back up there because he was scared because Archelaus came in the roll ship. If you read Matthew, he never went back to Bethlehem, I believe.
Wait. Hold on. It sounds like you're talking about two different things. The chronology is that Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem, and that's where she gave birth. Okay, after he was born, Herod put out the edict that all babies under 2 years old were to be killed. So they went to Egypt.
Don't go to Egypt. They didn't go to Egypt.
Not according to the text. They did.
Hey, look, they didn't go to Egypt. So which one is it?
They wait. So you saying that because Luke doesn't say Egypt, that they didn't, there's a contradiction?
The Bible repeats itself, like in Hebrew, it repeats itself. The stories repeat themselves verbatim in the Bible. When they talk about two different stories in the text, a lot of times they repeat each other.
Tell us what Luke says then.
Luke she did the birthrights where you had to sacrifice 2 pigeons, in exchange for the sin offering. She had to do all that. She had to do the funeral. She had to do the birth.
Wait, you're saying Luke in Luke they never fled from the edict?
Yeah, they never fled. They never fled from the edict. In Luke, they're in Jerusalem showing off baby Jesus. It's two different stories.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, can you verify that? Because you're confusing me. I don't know if that's. I think in Luke they do mention them going to Egypt because they talk about the prophecy of that's fulfilled, of them coming out of Egypt, the Messiah coming out of Egypt.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that in the text. I didn't see that.
That's in Matthew chapter 2. But
back up. Hold on. We had to cut it off because we're out of time. Hold on. We're out of time and we have to end the show. So thank y'all for.
Yo, Raquel, call me. I left my number in the chat. Call me after this.
You can stay in the hangout.
All right. So we're gonna do after show for those who want to join the Discord. We're gonna take it to there. So if y'all want to join in for that, feel free to head on over. I'll be there with you after checking up on Skylar and see what's going on. But until then, I'll see y'all next Friday. This has been the Christian Anarchist. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. So wish that upon you. Have a good day.